Hello and welcome to HyzerMedia's coverage of the 2023 White Rose Open presented by MVP Disc Sports. This is round 2 coverage of the tournament. We'd like to thank our coverage sponsors, Cosmic Disc Golf, D-Town Disc Golf, and Reaper Disc Supply. I'm Nathan Johnson, and today I am joined in the booth by Dan Brooks-Wells. How's it going, Dan?
Hey man, how you doing?
Not too bad. Round 2 should be exciting.
Yeah, definitely. And we got a nice card again. On the card is Dylan Horst. He's at neg 8, tied for first. And myself also at neg 8. Another person at -8 would be Matt Hammersten from Woodbridge, Virginia. And those first round ratings were 10-12. Right behind us is Tyler Hamilton from Mechanicsburg, PA, rated at 975. So getting right into it, this is hole 1, sponsored by D-Town Disc Golf. This is a par 4, 486, and you really want to just throw something straight and gets a little bit left, and it's kind of like a forehand or a little backhand pitch into the green here. So not super far, but technical.
Yeah, should be exciting. We are at the Codorus State Park Blue Course for the second of 3 rounds in this tournament. You wouldn't be able to tell by the weather, but this is in fact the same day as the first round that we saw.
Yeah, that's right. If you guys haven't seen that first round, go over there and watch it. It starts off with a lot of rain and a lot of wind, and with all this tree coverage, there's a little bit of wind out there, but it's blocked in a decent amount.
Yeah, super nice day out on the course. Dylan threw a nice shot there, and you look to follow his line pretty well. You're going to see most players opt for the backhand off the tee here, just want to put something in the fairway. This hole isn't particularly long. As long as you keep your drive safe, you should be able to get yourself up there and have a birdie look.
Yeah, I mean, you can throw whatever you want off the tee. You just want to make sure you go left. If you go straight into that bush, you really don't have a look into the green. So, you know, like Nate said, distance isn't really the key. It's placement.
Yeah, and that's definitely going to be a common theme on this course. Not the longest course in the world, but very technical, very tight, and the rough is really thick. So you want to make sure that you're staying on the fairway, especially in these kind of tweener par 4s.
Yeah, we can see Tyler here. He puts a good move on this one and hits the gap you're trying to hit, gives himself a putt.
Yeah, that's a really nice shot. Technical backhand turnover line is, you can't really tell on the camera, but this fairway slopes quite a bit right to left. So you're going to see most players opt for a forehand here into the green, like Dylan has shown us perfectly. Gets a little bit of skip, and it comes up a little bit short. He'll have some meat on the bone there.
Yeah, those trees are about, I would say, like 20 to 25 feet away from the basket. So it's a little bit trickier of a putt, but it still gives you a look at it.
Yeah, not too bad. What are you going here? It looks like a pyro.
Yeah, you're going to see that a lot, like you did the last round. I throw the pyro a lot. I got a little lucky there, a little sneaky, but there's a 3-foot gap there, you know.
Yeah, plenty. It was just like you drew it up, right? Little 3-foot gap, counter skip, parked. Never.
Yeah, whatever. Matt cannot find the 3-foot gap, but he does find right between the little V tree.
Yeah, not a bad break though. He'll still have a putt there, but yeah, not the ideal play that like you were looking for. So here's Tyler now for his birdie, maybe just inside the circle and just a bit high. Pretty good bid. First hole jitters, you know, you never want to leave that first putt of the round short.
Right. I think Dylan, he's not too much closer, but like you said, you know, stepping up to the first putt of the day, there's a little bit of wind, and it can be nervy, especially when you got the camera on you.
Yeah, definitely. Matt, his putter was feeling hot the first round in the rain and the wind, but leaves that one a little low. Maybe the straddle kind of messed him up. So we're going to have 3 pars on hole 1 and 1 birdie from yourself. Play that whole textbook.
Yeah, thanks. Except for the little bit of
the sneaky upshot.
Yeah, you know.
That's okay. No, no one's ever going to remember that.
Right, of course not. Yeah, it feels good to get the first one out of the way. It's one you want to get, but you're right. Like when you get into the game, it's tough to get it. So, hole 2, sponsored by Reaper Disc Golf, Reaper Disc Supply. Hole 2 is a par 3, 222, and it plays like an island. So, I mean, it is right there downhill. It's really just a mind game of get it there, get it inside the island.
Yeah, and it's a weird shaped island. I don't even know how I would describe the shape, but the best I will tell you is it's comes up about 15 feet short of the basket and then goes about circle's edge long. So you definitely don't want to come up short here. You want to make sure you get at least pin high to guarantee that you're safe and you have a birdie putt. And looks like you did a great job of that. Dylan's going to try to match your line.
He's trying the ace.
Ooh, nice shot there from Dylan.
Matt is choosing a different approach. He's going with the forehand. And I feel like this cuts off your angle just a little bit with the overhanging tree right there, but he gets it low enough.
Yeah, relying on that ground play to scoot him up inside the circle. That's really well done. Yeah, this is dealer's choice. Whatever you're comfortable throwing straight for 220 feet is the disc to throw. Tyler, he opts for the backhand as well. A little bit of extra juice on it, but that's still a putt. You're happy with a birdie putt on this hole.
For sure.
So here's Tyler again, about the same distance as hole 1, and he's able to make the correction. Really solid birdie putt there.
Nice. That's got to feel good with everybody else inside of you looking at the birdie. Feels good to hit one.
Yeah, it's always that pressure, when the card has a potential for a star frame and you're the first one who's got to make that nervy putt. It's definitely a different kind of pressure that you got to overcome. Nice putt there from Dylan as well.
What did you end up going with on this hole?
I like the forehand. I just trust the touch forehand a little more than the touch backhand. So I went zone down the left-hand side and was able to pick up the birdie.
Nice.
Let's see if Matt can grab here. There, that's the putt we came accustomed to see during round 1. Just 20 footers right in the heart of the basket. Never a doubt. Super smooth.
Yeah, just the center of the center. Every time I feel like he made one, most of the time it's center of the center.
Yeah, and that's what you want. These Prodigy baskets tend to not like putts to the left or the right. You tend to see some spit outs depending on your putting style, so you definitely want to make sure you put it on the pole if you want it to stick.
Absolutely. All right, hole 3, sponsored by Cosmic Disc Golf. This is a par 3, 295, super technical tunnel shot. Take your straightest disc and throw it down the gap.
Yeah, I think the purest route is probably the forehand, which it looks like you're lining up here, but there are so many trees down towards the basket that I don't know. It feels like you almost have to get lucky to really park this hole. Oof, you find an early one there. That is a fairway hit. Well,
oh wait,
not. Maybe not.
Oh man, yeah, that just came out a little early. Is what it is.
Yeah, this is kind of one of those holes that you really just, I mean, again, no offense, but you just want to make sure you hit that initial gap because it's a really tough birdie at 295 with this tight of a tunnel going the whole way down there. I think most folks are happy as long as they, progress most of the way down the fairway off the tee. As Dylan looks like he clips an early tree as well, and it's going to kick him off to the left side. It's kind of tricky over there.
Yeah, there is one gap to the right I've seen people take. Do you know which one I'm talking about? It's like a little bit of a hyzer gap.
Yeah, there is a hyzer gap. You kind of got to go high over the bushes. You can kind of see on the right-hand side of the frame as Matt throws a nice shot, just catches something late. I don't know if that's a real gap, but it is there if you're feeling adventurous. Is Tyler going to line it up?
No, I wasn't foreshadowing.
Okay.
I thought about it after hitting that first tree.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, I think it is probably a bigger gap initially off the tee, but there's just so many trees once you start going down the fairway that it's kind of poke and pray.
Yeah, so I took my Terra here to flex it. I didn't get it over on it enough, but it gives me a putt, and it's going to be a chance at a 3 or an easy 4. So here's
that's all. Yeah, that's all you can ask for after a tough drive like that. Good up for Dylan. Looks like he didn't kick too far off the fairway. I think most players are going to be happy with a par on this hole or an outside birdie look, as Matt's got a maybe 50-footer or so tree in his way, trying to bend it around. Pretty valiant effort, honestly, but again, he'll take the tap-in par.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, that was some wild wind action there for Tyler. It might leave him a bit of a tester for his par, but
Yeah, I think I'm looking about 40, 45 feet here, and I just want to give it a good bid.
Kind of obstructed. Oh my gosh, spits out left side. That one definitely could have stuck. That is a
Yeah.
tough break. Really good putt.
Yeah, about 60 40. 60 it stays, 40 it gets out. But tough one for Tyler.
Yeah, especially having being the closest of the card to the basket and then just running that putt, kind of an unfortunate wind lift he got there. And those are the strokes that you're gonna look back on after your round and be like, just kicking yourself.
Yeah, it's sometimes it's hard to know what to do with the wind, close
Hmm.
enough to run it, but you don't want to have a 25-foot putt in wind. You just don't.
Yeah, avoid them at all costs. Definitely on a day like today where it's gusty.
All right, hole 4, sponsored by Upshot Tournaments and Shop. It is a par 3, 336. It is pretty far uphill. Talking to the locals, they pretty much think this is a bonus hole, and I would agree with them. It's pretty tough to get there. What do you
Yeah,
think?
it plays far. I think it probably plays 400 feet with the uphill and just the shape of it. It's if you're going to go forehand like Dylan is, you need to have a huge forehand on this kind of baby flex line that Dylan did a good job of, but this is the kind of result you'll see for
Right.
99% of forehands. It's just something that fades out because with that uphill, it just wants to pull every single forehand to the right.
Yeah, absolutely. I would think this play is more common, throwing something really flippy, trying to get it to stand up and turn, and you can see Matt not flippy enough.
Yeah, I mean, but that's not a bad mistake. It's hard. You don't really want your disc to turn if you go for the backhand line, I think. I think if you can get it to hold straight pretty much the whole way, that's kind of the purest gap, and then take your like circle's edge birdie putt. Because if you turn it over, there's trees on the right hand side, so like you kind of just have to get lucky if you want to try to sneak through there. Looks like this came out a little early for you.
Yeah, I don't know. The wind was kind of swirling. I wasn't really sure, and I just kind of went with my understable play and didn't really work out. But
Yeah, Tyler looks like he makes a similar mistake. He's on the edge of the fairway though, so definitely will be scramblable. I will say, I heard that Tyler is actually recovering from a broken ankle from like 2 months ago, which is kind of wild that he's playing on it. So something to keep in mind as we subbed out Lucas, one player with an injury for another injured player in the second round.
yeah, I mean, obviously he's a good player to get to the lead card, and I didn't even realize it until probably halfway through, and I look back and he's kind of hobbling. And I'm like, what happened to Tyler? And they let me know what happened, and I'm like, wow, I can't. For him just to be out here is amazing.
Yeah,
So
3 rounds of disc golf in a weekend on at 50% maybe is definitely impressive, and to like you said to be on the lead card impressive as well. That was a good bid from him.
yeah,
Just a little high. Here's where Dylan's drive ended up pretty good. I mean, almost pin high, but as you can see, in the rough, there's almost nothing over there. Looks like he's going to give it a little forehand bid, try to replicate some of the magic from round one, and he does. Oh my gosh, absolutely
unbelievable.
electric. Dylan Horst with his second forehand throw in of the tournament. This one was from a little closer than round one, but still impressive nonetheless to grab the birdie on hole four.
I mean, come on, yeah, it's
That's
just
unreal.
incredible. Matt and I were joking. His percentages for forehand putting are just through the roof right now.
Yeah, I mean he hasn't missed. I would just do it. Why not do it all the time?
Right.
Wow, that is such a great birdie. Hole four actually did come in as the hardest hole on the course at playing at 3.12. So
Yeah.
scored
Believe
over
it.
par.
3.12. I would have thought it might have been even a little higher. So
Yeah,
well
I
done,
think it's
field.
one of those holes that you're going to see just a lot of pars. The bogeys definitely come quick, but most of the field is happy with a par there.
Absolutely. Hole 5, sponsored by On Your Card, where you play fantasy disc golf against the pros. This is a par 3, 198 feet. This feels like a gotta get, and it's just down this little gap and take your putter or overstable putter and just let it hyzer out.
Yeah, as long as you hit the gap, you're probably. Oh, it's Dylan's ace running it. Goes a little deep, but yeah, like you said, anything as long as you hit the gap, you're going to have a birdie putt. I don't hate this flex forehand from Matt. That first tree that you see right in front of him is gets in your head if you're going to throw the backhand line.
Yeah,
So
and
this
he
kind of takes that
smooth
out of the
one.
question.
Very nice little slide play, and off the tee, it just looks like he threw it too straight. But if you throw it straight, he's 20 feet pin high. Great
Yeah.
shot.
Yeah, you don't really need the disc to actually finish to the left as long as you just kind of keep it straight. Let the disc do the work for you. And looks like came up a little short, caught some of those trees, but you still have a putt.
Yeah. Tyler here, he kind of hangs it out like you want to. I kind of got a little inside, and he's rewarded.
Yep, nice shot from him. Yeah, like you said, definitely a must-get birdie. This did play as the easiest hole on the course at right after we played against the hardest one. And nice, really nice low ceiling spinner there from you from circle's edge to save that birdie we were talking about. 2.46 average for hole 5. So more
Dylan
than
after his ace run. Oh yeah, cleans it up.
Yep, nicely done. Yeah, there's plenty of stuff here behind the basket that'll pretty much stop your disc. So um, not really an issue with ace running this hole. You should be able to stay close. Hammer dead center again for his birdie. And Tyler's pretty much parked as well. So nice little star frame for the card. Everybody looks like they're feeling pretty good right here, finding a good rhythm.
Yeah, I mean it's the second round of the day, so it's not like we're coming out of the car or like early in the morning, so we're feeling good. Hole 6, sponsored by Slippery Saucers Disc Golf. This is a par 4, 467. It's really a hyzer off the tee if you're right-handed, and just trying to play position down in this little gap and trying to weave your way through the trees. Just a tiny little pitch up, so not a far one, just technical.
Yeah, I think the only real mistake you can make off the tee here, other than, not hitting this gap, is what I find is a lot of players go too deep. They try to disc up to like a fairway driver or something, and the back side of that fairway, there's a bunch of bushes over there. They come in pretty quick. So you want to make sure you throw something slow enough that is just going to get to the ground and, leave yourself in the fairway.
Yeah, I mean even that one, I thought he was going to be absolutely fine, but you can see he went just a tad deep.
Yeah, I mean, still scrambleable. He's on the edge, but yeah, another 10 feet, and it's very tough to get up and down for birdie. This is what you want. It looks way left and short, but it's actually probably going to be perfect. Yeah, better than perfect. That's the best drive I may have ever seen on this hole.
Yeah, really good. I mean, he took something really flippy and hyzered it, let it flip down the hill. So I like to play a mid range. This is my reactor, and I just like to pop a little hyzer out, and let it glide down. I think people get carried away sometimes throwing too fast of discs.
I agree. This is definitely the kind of course where you can probably throw mids and putters on almost every hole, and you could still shoot like 14 or 15 under par. Most of these holes only require about 250 to 300 feet of distance, but as long as you're accurate, that's all you need. Tyler hung his out a little wider, but skips back into the fairway. He just will have a little longer approach here into the green. It's about downhill, probably somewhere in the 250 range.
Oh, yeah.
Slides that one up really nicely.
Very well played. Common theme, I'm throwing my pyro.
Yep, this is a common shot here. Just swing it out wide to the left, let the disc do the work. Skip it up there. Nice control there. You'll see a lot of players go deep on this approach. It is pretty significantly downhill, and it's hard to get the disc to stop. So nice touch from you.
Thanks. Yeah, and Dylan's struggling with he's a little deep, like you said. He does have a shot, but it's obstructed, and he's gonna have to work for this one.
Yeah, going with the step out, kind of ultimate style backhand.
And he's throwing an ultimate style disc. That's the habit. He loves throwing that thing, but gets away from him just a little bit.
Yeah, just didn't quite turn it enough. That's very tough shot to execute. Hammer, he's probably got maybe 150 into the pin after a great drive. Just a little step out forehand to slide it up there. A little deep, but that'll be just fine. Surprised Dylan's not going to another forehand putt here after stepping out to the right, maybe from a knee.
No, man, you got to go with the percentages.
Yeah, just Just a little low. All right, that forehand. If he goes forehand there, it's going in, like guaranteed.
It is. Before he lined it up, I said, You're gonna go forehand?" He's like, I don't think so.
Disappointing.
Yeah. Well, Dylan, I'm here to tell you, maybe you should have went forehand. Nathan thinks so too.
I agree. Nice birdie there from Tyler. He'll tap that in. We'll have a couple more tap-ins here from Matt and yourself. As we're tapping out here, Dan, I got some White Rose Open trivia for you. Do you know who won the first ever White Rose Open in 2019?
Ooh, 2019. I know Lucas won it the past 2 years, but that's not him. Is it you?
It was not me. I was not playing disc golf in 2019, unfortunately, but it was actually Johnny McRae.
Johnny McRae.
Johnny McRae, yeah, the Florida man himself.
Oh man. Well, Johnny would have loved hole 7. Sponsored by Link Disc Golf Supply. Par 4, 447. This is super tight. I know it seems really short, but it's uphill pretty much the whole way. Really tight, and I believe this has got to be one of the harder holes on the course.
Yeah, I don't have the exact statistics, but this one's definitely tough. It has gotten easier, though. There was one more tree. You can kind of see the stump there about 30 or 40 feet in front of the tee pad that made this tee shot very tight.
Yeah.
Now it's a little more open to where you can kind of just throw forehand, backhand, whatever your straight 300-foot, disc of choice is. But still very tricky to keep a disc in the fairway off the tee.
Yeah, and I'm going with the Crave, and I love this disc for woods golf. I mean, it's kind of like a hybrid disc. It's a little bit faster than a mid range, and just gives me a nice little flip up. So,
yeah, very nice shot from you there. Again, distance not the most important thing off this tee shot. It's more about just keeping yourself center fairway. Tyler's trying to bite off a lot, but this is probably going to fade out left and is going to make his upshot pretty tricky.
Yeah, maybe. I think he got far enough to where he has a bit of a shot. I know something about Tyler. He's a really quick player. He just would get up to his line throw, and I admire that for sure.
Yeah, sometimes. Well, I mean, I personally, I am one of the slowest players that I know. So, I definitely wish that my mental game was good enough to just get up and fire. I like the forehand off the tee here, but Dylan just probably goes with a little too stable of a disc. That might be far enough up there though that he can make it work. So here's Hammer quite a ways back. He's probably lining up. There's 2 gaps up to the basket. I think he's lining up the right side. It's kind of a hyzer gap, but just catches the tree in the middle.
Yeah, that wasn't a normal swing for him. He seemed to fall off to the right a bit. I think his timing was just a little off, but he could still save his par. I'm going with the Terra. I'm looking at this left side gap and kind of trying to flex it. Really low ceiling, just tight all around, and just didn't come out right.
Yeah, just a little low, didn't quite commit. This upshot plays pretty long from the bottom of the hill. I mean, ideally you'd like to get your drive, and you see Tyler. He's got to push the ceiling here to try to get a putt and just catches some limbs up there. It's a great hole. It really is. It's that risk reward of how much do you want to try to bite off the tee to give yourself, an easy approach. Or do you want to play it safe and give yourself a longer upshot? It's a really well-designed hole.
I agree. Yeah.
Hammer comes up a little short there on his upshot, so he's going to have a probably circle's edge putt for par. This is Dylan's drive, which is way up the fairway, but still he's going to have some tricky footing here to get up and down for his birdie. Looks like he's going with the Berg.
Really nice. I mean, just the control, the balance, and to get a clean swing is impressive.
Yeah, looks like you still got a long birdie putt here, uphill quite a ways.
Yeah.
Wow, just a little low. Couldn't quite get it there.
That was everything I had, too. I just couldn't get high enough.
Yeah, Tyler's on the right-hand side of the fairway. Just going to pitch up. Maybe give it a little half run. Oh, off the cage. Wow. Man, you guys, both rounds, just trying to give us highlights for the Instagram reels, Appreciate it.
All out.
All right, so here's Hammer to save his par, probably about a 30-footer, slightly uphill. Oh, just a little high off the band. Really good effort.
Everybody's gonna clean up here, and I know you didn't know what the average was, but I have to imagine this played a little bit over par.
Yeah, I would think it would be coming at least, right around par, if not slightly over. It's definitely got to earn your birdie on hole 7.
Right, moving on to probably one of the most fun holes on the course, sponsored by Anthem Films. This is hole 8. It's a par 3, 372, and it's a pretty far downhill shot. You can throw a putter, a mid-range, a fairway, whatever you'd like. I think most people would go with probably a mid-range, I would imagine.
Yeah, I think if you're going backhand, I like the mid-range or putter play for this distance. I personally like the forehand on this hole because the fairway slopes slightly right to left, so it's hard to keep your backhand straight for this long. They tend to like to drift. Oh, as Dylan gets a nice reaction there to kick him back towards the basket. Just tend to like to drift left down the hill if you go with a righty backhand, so it's hard to keep it just straight for this long.
Yeah, I agree with you. So I ended up going with my Echo, which is a new streamlined mid-range. It goes pretty straight, goes pretty much what you put it on. And
Looks like a good angle out of the hand.
yeah, I think the downhill part just kind of held it over to the right a little bit. So it's all right. It still gives me a putt.
Yeah, still a great shot. I think right is the miss here, or at least overturning your disc rather than having it fade out down the hill, as I think that's what we're going to see here from Tyler. Just a little too much height, and there's just really nothing to stop your disc once. Oh, that stopped his disc. I stand corrected. That was that was a very nice tree to keep him at circle's edge rather than fading out down the hill. See if Hammer can correct. I think, he's throwing that straight to stable mid-range. He was throwing a lot in the first round. Little hyzer, try to flip it up.
He loves this disc. He threw it all the time on almost every other hole, and
Wow.
and that's why. I mean, just look at that result. He just has such control over that disc.
Yeah, that's a really impressive shot. Just the control and distance and angle wise, super great shot. So now you're coming up maybe circle's edge, slightly downhill, just a little high.
Yeah, not upset with the bid, but you like one of those to fall every now and again.
Yeah, that's tough miss from Tyler. Yeah, that feels like one of those putts that you out of your hand, it feels great, and then it stays in the air, and you just
just too strong.
Yeah, exactly.
See if Dylan has a similar putt to mine, just a little closer.
Yep, slightly downhill, maybe 25, 28 foot or something like that. Just leaks a little right for him. Yeah, Dylan's putter's been a little off the first 2 rounds of this tournament. He's definitely been giving himself a lot of chances, but just kind of a little left here, a little right there. If he can straighten it out, I mean, he's currently leading this card, so if he can figure that out, I'm very confident he'll put himself in the mix at the end of this tournament.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, you're absolutely right. His putter's been cold, and yet he's still winning. So
yeah, that's a scary thing. Yeah,
he's a dangerous player. So,
and we should say, yeah, great birdie from Matt. This is definitely a bonus birdie, but a very still one that you would love to get.
Hole 9, sponsored by the Glen Rocks Disc Golf Club. This is a par 3, 212 feet. It is pretty well uphill. It's got a good amount of elevation. Throw your putter, throw your mid. You can throw forehand or backhand, but this one feels like you have to get it.
Yeah, definitely must get birdie at only 212 feet. There's pretty much just one tree you have to miss. That's maybe 15 feet short left of the basket. So I think, I'm not alone in just aiming for that tree and hoping that you miss it on either side and get yourself a putt.
Yeah, I mean, how many baskets do you try to ace and you don't hit it? You just try to ace that tree and don't ace it.
Exactly. Yeah. You would think that would be easier said than done, but nice shot from Matt. He's a little left of the tree and will definitely have, a short putt for birdie. Dylan kind of smokes this one, but gets a nice backstop off the down log. He'll be parked for his birdie.
Yeah, that would be Dylan Issues going too far. I'm sure that happens to him a lot.
Yeah, with a putter.
Yeah, with a putter. I'm going with the new Lozadal Hex. Try to just smooth something up there.
That was smooth. Skips right past the tree. Leaves you a short birdie putt. Let's see if Tyler can make it 4 for 4 inside the circle. He's going with a more direct line. Something stable. Scoots it up closest to the group. Nice shot. So let's see if maybe 20-footer or so. Yeah, a little left, a little low, but it'll work.
Come on, Hammer. I'm not used to that. Center is center. Come on, bud.
Yeah, I know. Step it up. Now his putt's been great all weekend. He can afford to not throw a perfect putt every now and then. Looks like you got about a 15-footer, slightly downhill. That's the putt we're looking for. Right on the pole. Never a doubt. And we've got a battle here after 9 holes. Halfway through this tournament, we've got Dylan in the lead at 13 under par. Yourself and Matt at 12 under, close behind. Tyler, he's going to move up to 9 with that birdie. And yeah, it's going to be an exciting one.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited for the back 9 of this. Here's Dylan. Oh, it's beautiful.
Such a sick shot. Second forehand throw-in of the tournament for Dylan. Thank you to our supporting sponsor, the Norse Gods, as well as the Patreon family for making this coverage possible. We really appreciate you guys. Stick around for the back 9 coming right up. It's bound to be a good one.